ॐ तत्पुरुषाय विद्महे वक्रतुण्डाय धीमहि तन्नो दन्तिः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ जयन्ती मङ्गलकाले भद्रकाली कपालिनी दुर्गा क्षमा शिवधात्री स्वाहा स्वादा नमोस्तुते। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Sairam Lin, Sairam from Malaysia.
Sairam Sharma, Sairam from New Zealand, as Swami has called it. And we welcome our listeners wherever you are. We so much love seeing your comments and your thumbs up. And we are so happy to say we have not seen a thumbs down yet. Thank you, Swami, for taking care of us so beautifully and sharing your divine knowledge and wisdom with us all. Because it's all there in Swami's books, in Sathya Sai Speaks, and in all the many books that have been published by the ashram. There are so many fountains of knowledge. And I'm well aware that many of us don't have time to read books now. Our lives have become so busy. But for over the years, I have taken the time to read nearly every one because of having to manage Swami's Book Center here in New Zealand per his divine command. And so I am very happy to share today's topic, which is: do enlightened souls and great beings still walk the earth? And I get asked this many times because, of course, Swami is not walking the earth in his physical form at present. However, many people still want to meet someone who would be considered a great enlightened soul. And so I can say the short answer is yes. And I will give 3 good examples of wonderful stories, which are true, by the way. And the first one takes place in the ashram in the mid-1990s. Now, Swami, of course, had many wonderful, fortunate boys to complete their education at his university. And one of these former students was blessed by Swami to serve in his residence. And he was also assigned to work in the Sanatana Samskriti Museum, which is up on the hill. You would recognize it by the unusual pointed oval shaped towers. Now, this boy came from a family that was very, very devoted to Swami. And so this boy never had any interest in any other spiritual master or any other enlightened being. He only wanted Swami. But one day, one of his colleagues asked him, had he read Autobiography of a Yogi by Sri Paramahansa Yogananda? And the boy said, no, I haven't. And his colleague said, you should read this book. It is fantastic. And he gave him a copy of the book. So the student browsed through it casually, glanced at some, saw the pictures. But one picture caught his attention. And in that picture, Yogananda was seen with flowing hair and with a gentle glow on his face. And in this picture, the student thought, well, he looks a little bit like Swami. And he wondered if this saint, who passed away in 1952, I might add, wondered if this saint had been truly an enlightened being. But he kind of left the book. He thought about it, but he just got busy with his work. And early in the afternoon, he would be at Bhagwan's residence, and his duties there ended about 7:30 every evening. So one day he walked back to his place of work, and he thought this thought, is everything written in that book, Autobiography of a Yogi, is that really true? And he couldn't get an answer. So finally he prayed to Swami, and he said, Swami, I don't know if such enlightened souls are present in today's times. If they are true, please give me a sign and clear my doubts. So he went back to the office, and he was given a new responsibility there, and he was working very hard, and he would sort of work all through the night and just have little naps. And so he was his sleep patterns were quite interrupted. So one day he was tired and he thought he would have a break, but then he had this idea: why don't I go out onto the terrace? It is cooler breeze out there and the moon is out. And so he sat down on the terrace so that he could face the northeast. And that is because Kailash, the abode of Lord Shiva, is apparently in that direction. So he settled down and he was just resting and looking at the horizon, and he's thinking about his day's work. If you can imagine working for Swami in an office and then serving in the residence and then working in the office. He had very little time to himself. But all of a sudden, he's looking at the dark sky and he sees a bright, piercing light like a laser beam coming at him with such speed it terrified the life out of him, and it just missed hitting him. And the beam hit the wall next to him and disappeared, and the boy was scared to death, and he thought, is this a ghost? If it is, it will chase me if I run away. And he decided to stay put. And the next minute, something even stranger happened. There appeared a jelly, transparent and fluffy. It was the size of 2 tennis balls, and in it were tiny little stars that were sparkling, and it looked kind of eerie, and he was too amazed to think. And the jelly suddenly vanished as abruptly as it had showed up, and he thought, what is going on? What's happening to me? Is someone trying to harm me? He had no clue. He sat there for some time. Nothing else happened. It was 3:30 in the morning, and he thought, 1 more hour, and I can go back to Swami's presence. And he went down at 4:30, got ready, and went to Swami's residence. And that morning, when Swami came out of his room, the boy is waiting for his command. And Swami looked at him and he said, do you need more proof? Well, the student was absolutely astonished. And he said, this experience was so powerful, it gave me all the spiritual strength and conviction I needed to face the monumental challenges that came my way in the subsequent days. Bhagwan always has a plan. And if any doubt is sincere and genuine, he said, the master will go to any extent to clear the confusion in our minds. The second story was told to me by our dear late Arthur Hillcott from Australia, Swami's wonderful white lion. And Arthur loved to roam in the Himalayas. That was one thing that he did as soon as he was able to afford it, before he had even come to Swami. He loved to roam in the Himalayas. He worked in shipping. Arthur did. He worked in shipping, but he was quite well paid, and he was just drawn to the Himalayas. Arthur was born thirsting for spiritual knowledge, and he would seek out what he called the great ones. He had read so many books. I don't know, I can't name all the books he had read, but he was interested in Babaji, the great immortal Mahavatar, who lives in an invisible ashram near Rishikesh. He was interested in Sri Nisargadatta Datta. He was interested in Shirdi Baba. So many. And he would roam in the Himalayas. And when he came to Swami, he asked Swami, is it all right if I still go visit these great masters or look for them? So I said, yes. And Swami indicated to him that he knows them all. Well, of course he knows them all. Swami knows everyone. And he blessed Arthur to continue. And so Arthur decided one day, he said, Swami, I would like to take a message from you to Sri Babaji. And Swami said, yes, please send him Arthur told me, my loving, what was it? No, I can't remember. I'm sorry. Can't remember the exact quotation, what what Arthur told me, but it was a message from Swami to Avatar, this avatar in the Himalayas, Mahavatar he is called. So Arthur is roaming in the Himalayas. He knows where to go. It is a footpath up near Rishikesh. And he is hoping to meet Mahavatar Babaji, and he does. Now, Arthur didn't give me all the details of that particular meeting, but he gave Babaji the message from Swami. And now look, these great beings don't need to send messages to each other. Swami was just granting Arthur's desire. You understand? But Mahavatar Babaji gave Arthur a message, and Arthur took it back to Swami. And Arthur loved doing this. Now, he didn't talk about it very much in his public talks. He said, Lynn, people won't understand. And then he told me many more stories about his encounters with great spiritual beings, which I would love to mention in another talk, because otherwise I'll be talking for an hour. Arthur had so many incredible experiences. However, I will share one short but sweet encounter that I had with a Siddha Purush, who Swami had blessed mightily. And indeed, whenever this Siddha Purush bowed in front of Swami's Samadhi, flowers or a garland will fall off and garland that Siddha Purush. Siddha Purush is a master who has renounced all attachment to the world and has certain divine abilities. This particular Siddha Purush invited myself and several other staff members for bhajans at his humble home. And he said to me, would you like to ask Swami a question? And I said, well, yes, I would, but Swami is not here. This was in 2006. Sorry, 2016. I said, Swami is no longer in the physical body. How can I do this? The Siddha Purush said, please write a letter to Swami. Please write a short letter to Swami and ask him anything. So I went to another room. I wrote a short letter to Swami and put it on the altar in the prayer room. Then I came back to the little living room where I was sitting with some staff members, and we were listening to the Siddha Purush quote Bhagwan's teachings. After maybe 10 minutes, the Siddha Purush looked at me and said, I think Swami has answered your letter. I thought, what? I went to the altar room. No one had been in there because I had kept my eye on the door entrance. There was the most beautiful fragrance in the room. It was the smell of Amrit. Now, once you have smelled Amrit, you will never forget it. When I opened my letter, there in Swami's handwriting in gold pen and Swami's signature was his answer to my letter. So I can tell you, yes, these enlightened beings do still walk the earth. They all know Swami. Swami knows them. They are in constant communication. They are like his worker bees. All paths lead to the same destination up the mountain, said Ramakrishna Paramahansa. But be sure to choose a clean path. Don't go following masters who charge you money. Swami said, if they are charging you money for spiritual knowledge, they are beggars. Do not fall for such persons. Om Shri Sai Ram.
Om Shri Sai Ram. Om Tasmat Karunya Bhavena Raksha Raksha Saishvara. Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Saishvara Arpanamastu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.